I've worked from home for the last 5 years, actually my entire corporate career, and I finally figured out what my favorite part of it is. It's the fact that no matter how much stress I'm dealing with at work, the second that I look up from my computer, I look around my house, none of it matters. None of it exists anymore. It has been so helpful to reframe that in my brain and remind myself that I exist outside of this laptop, and there are more important things to me that exist outside of the stress that goes on in this tiny little screen. The second that I look up or get on my desk, which usually is a desk, but I'm recovering from surgery right now, so I feel so much better. It's so important to disconnect for just a brief moment to refresh your energy, clear your brain, and just remind yourself that outside of this tiny little device here, none of it matters. It can all go away in a second if you just get up. Like, I've worked way too hard to create a comforting, peaceful place that I love
You
to
know,
call.
it's so funny because in the caption, it says, I can't make this up. I was laid off 20 minutes after recording this video. I remember when working from home used to be a privilege. Like it was something that was exciting. It was an opportunity. Now people had grown to where it was an expectation and that it wasn't looked at as a privilege. It was like, huh, my life exists outside of this laptop and stuff. Working from home just wasn't even a thing when I was growing up. And then everybody started working from home. I myself had worked from home and I was appreciative of working from home. And I would even go back into the office. And now there are people literally getting laid off while they're working from home. And one of the ways that I told people that they needed to avoid this was A, don't put yourself in a position to where you expected or adjusted your life to working from home. B, you still wanted to go into the office and make sure that you're seen because if they don't see you, they don't count you. They don't look at you as important. They're not going to quantify on an individual basis. And I don't care whatever your review is or what your review said or how awesome you thought that you were. They're not going to quantify or qualify you as great because they can't physically talk to you or interact with you or see your face. And it makes a huge difference. And now you getting laid off, which could have possibly been avoided. I'm not saying entirely that it is, but it quite possibly could have been avoided. But now you have all the time in the world to exist within your laptop and focus on just being you. You know what I'm saying?
Home to let anything in here take away from that, and you deserve that too. So I was just laid off.
They're laying off the recruiters. They are laying off the recruiters. And if you're not a recruiter like me and you're not living and breathing on LinkedIn, you're probably not seeing this. But the majority of people that I'm seeing recently laid off are the recruiters. Know what that means? That means they're not hiring. We're not hiring. And they are going to tell you that it's because this work is being replaced by AI, but we are not there yet. Not collectively. We still need recruiters, and they're being laid off in massive numbers. And I have not seen this since 2008 when things were really bad. I made a video about this several months ago. I saw this coming, but this is a 5-alarm fire. They are not hiring. They are firing recruiters. That is a very bad sign. Bye.
I think that it's also important for y'all to remember that, let me say this, AI is not replacing everything. It's not. I think that AI is the excuse that they use to justify letting some people go. The reality is that business is just not booming for a lot of people, and they have not been able to adjust accordingly to the business environment. So then they start to either try to leverage AI or they use it as an excuse to continue to lay people off. Now, there are some companies that's leveraging AI beautifully, and Amazon is one of them, and it's going to be pretty brutal when it comes to Amazon. FedEx is another one. I've seen a video of what's happening inside of the FedEx facilities and how they're laying it out as the blueprint to where they don't have to be interdependent on too many people. A lot of those jobs had a lot of turnover, so they were incentivized to invest in it. I talked about it even from the fast food industry. I remember when over in California that they voted that you could start off at $25 an hour for a fast food worker in California. And I said that for the companies that decided to stay, or for the places that decided to stay, A, they was going to raise prices. B, they were going to innovate and remove people out of that environment so that they can continue to be profitable. And voila, what did they do? Exactly what I said that they were going to do, because they can't be profitable while at the same time paying a crazy amount of money for food that people can't afford, that's supposed to be costing $3 and $4. You know what I'm saying? So innovation is coming. I think that she's right. It's not there yet. Also on LinkedIn, it may be her social circles. I haven't jumped on LinkedIn since I left corporate America the first time, so it just wasn't a thing to me. But yeah, I think it's a real thing, and that people need to be a little bit more mindful of what they post on social media, because it's going to play a role in whether or not you get hired again.
They are firing recruiters. That is a very bad sign. Bye.
A lot of people are getting laid off in San Francisco, the Bay Area, across the world. It is a hard time right now. One of the things that my dad used to tell me is work shouldn't always be your identity. It shouldn't be your entire life. It's important to have hobbies and interests.
This is very privileged of her to say this at this time. I think that this is a woman thing. Women can get away with this type of mindset.
Friends and things that will keep you sane when something like this happens, because when suddenly you get let go, your whole world just kind of shatters. So I think it's really important to make sure that you
Their
do
ability
have
to
a
provide for
balanced
themselves.
life in some aspects. Just know that all these layoffs, it's not because of you, it's because these corporations are greedy and they find that laying off people helps with their business needs. Unfortunately, you can see a lot of them actually rehiring other people at lower market salaries. It is honestly really important for people to understand that work is just times. Maybe the job is over, but that doesn't mean you can't pivot or find another industry. I think the most important thing right now is continuing to up leveling. How do you stay relevant in this industry? Or maybe do you want to switch to a different industry? Or maybe do you want to do a career pivot? A lot of things are uncertain right now, but the thing that is certain is that you can control your environment. You honestly are the CEO of your life. I think that's really something I had to learn over the couple of years. I'm like, no opportunity is just gonna get handed to me. You just have to create it yourself. Hope everyone's doing okay out there, though. It is a pretty weird time right now.
No, weird is not really the thing that you want to use to describe it. It's a reality check. And I think that the first reality check that we should have caught was way before Trump even got into office. It was the fact that Biden was leveraging the federal government to keep the jobs market afloat by basically giving everybody a handout, while at the same time allowing for a bunch of illegal migrants to come inside of the United States of America. It's going to take time for us to spin up jobs that actually matter. And then I think that it's still going to be difficult for a lot of women, because they're not going to want to do the jobs after they've been sitting at home and collecting a paycheck and pretending like they was working all day long. Corporate America does not owe you a salary. You're going to have to either figure out how to create a job for yourself, or you're going to have to expand your skill set and make yourself more marketable. Otherwise, you are going to be left in the dust. And I actually think it's a lot of women that's going to retire and or go back to being stay-at-home moms, or just have a bunch of kids, because they're not built for this job market. And I think that it's exposing the people that can and the people that have the ability to get it. And a lot of these degrees that people been getting ain't been worth two dead flies either. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I always like to link back to the content creators. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.